Hey everybody, it's Patreon time on the banjo, and Carl here. We're going to do a tune of Erynn's in the key of F, a lovely tune called Jaqueline's Dream. She made up for Jaqueline Gavin, and it was from Leah Simpkin. So, a present, I guess. It was a wonderful present, wonderful tune. And our first thing to do on the banjo is to explore the tuning we need to use. So I decided to use what they might call a Cumberland Gap tuning, which is sort of a G tune, a little modally, and it has the fifth string being an F note, which is a lot of the melody, which works out pretty good. So our fifth string's an F, our fourth string's a D, third string's a G, second string's a C, and the first string's a D. Okay, so let's look at our tuning, just our fretting notes, just for tuning checkpoints. So 3 on the first string gives you the short string open, that F note. And then you got the second fret on the second string, gives you the open D note on the first string. And then down to the 5th fret on the third string, gives you that C note on the open second. And then 5 on the 4th string gives you that open G on the third, right? So 3, 2, 5, and 5, just to kind of check your notes there. So our F chord, let's look at our chords in the backup first, which I think is going to be a little more of a finger pick exercise this time around. I think it'd be a good way to approach this. You could also do claw hammer, especially on the chord backup, but on the melody, I think I've got kind of a finger pick specific exercise this time, but it's really beautiful and worth messing with there. So here's our F chord. We're going to go up to the 3rd fret on the 4th string, and then your first finger, 3rd string, 2nd fret, 1st string, 3rd fret. So there's your F chord. If I went from my 4th string, is 3 fretwise, 3, 2, open, 2nd, 3rd fret, 1st string. There's your F chord, and that low string's your nice bass. Our right hand pattern would be something like a bass and plucking a couple strings, and maybe even one string sometimes where you could alternate the bass. On that F chord, 4 and 3 works good as alternate basses. The B flat chord, you keep that 1st string note, 3rd fret, and just move over to the 3rd fret, 3rd string with your 2nd finger, 2nd fret, 2nd string, and you got the 3rd string is you can kind of use that, maybe the 1st string for a chord, even though it's one note. Right, B flat, your 4 chord, back to F, and then your C chord, you keep that 3rd fret on the 1st string, a popular fret, and open middle strings with that 2nd fret low. And your C note is that 2nd string, but that low string is kind of nice for bass work there. So our chords are going to be F, C, B flat, and then we're going to have a D minor, which is like just the 3rd fret again on the 1st string, bar the middle strings and keep the low bass. That's a nice dramatic note. So the backup, let's just talk about for a minute first. It's going to be F chord for a measure, B flat for a measure, so you got time to alternate F again, and C, that 2nd fret, F again, B flat, and then we're going to do that D minor, a split measure, F to D minor, C to F. That's the first part. There's your C chord, that's halfway through the first part. F, B flat, then you split the measures, F to D minor, and split C to F. Same chord for the second part, but what I've done for the backup, I've got just the chord fingers above the tab, but just they're not to help you play the melody, it's just to play the backup. So it's just a reminder to help you as you play along with this video, or just practice this with Erynn's video or whatever. So I've gone up to an F, an inversion, they'd call it, just the same notes in different orders up the neck. On the first 3 strings I'm using 5, 5, and 7. So the 3rd string's kind of featured bass note. And the B flat, you keep that 2nd string, 5th fret, and you got to go to 7 and 8. And that copies what you had down here if you had to fret that open string, right? So anyway, I'm up here, 7, 5, 8. Back to the F, 5, 5, 7. And then you keep the bass note, and it's going to be 5, 4, 5. But what I've done here in the backup for the second part, I'm going to go from that C chord here. That's just like your B flat chord here, right? 2 is B flat, a whole step, 2 frets to C, B flat to C, climbing. So now I'm doing that, and I go to a bluesy note, do a 3, 4, 5, taking that bass down to the other territory where we had the F of 4. And the B flat, you could experiment with different basses, and then you're back to the same F, D minor, C, and F, So the whole second part, same chord progression, but up higher, sounds like this. 1, 2, just the back up. And you repeat that. I'll do it again. And you get ideas for varying your bass notes or who knows what there. Might have passing tones. And sometimes I might pluck, 3 strings with 3 fingers and a thumb, but you could also do that clawhammer style just for the first part. Maybe you could do like a note, a down clawhammer style would be fine too, and brushes. So keep in mind you could do that fine, that'd be fine too. You got bass walks you could do. Beautiful. So let's go ahead and start digging into the melody. You get to do some rolls with the thumb and 2 fingers is kind of what I've got in here. And one of the main features of the first part is string-wise, if I was thinking of a pattern, it's going to be 2, 1, 2, 5. If I did it with my fingers, it'd be index, and it'd be 2 fingers back and forth, and then it'd be like 2, 1, 2. But I'm going to get a fretted pattern up here. It's going to be 9 and 10. It's going to sound like this. That's going to be the after roll after we start with a couple of melody phrases. We're going to get to do that 3 times in a row though. And the licks that lead up, we're going to start with that 5th string F, and we got to do a little slide from 7 to 9. It could be hammer, but I'm going to do a slide. So I have my feature note, that 5th string starts this one, the first phrase, the F. Then I go from 7 to 9, and it's going to start that roll. So I'll do that a couple times. That's the first phrase. The last 2 notes are longer notes, right? Long notes or whole quarter notes. Okay? Then the next time it's going to be the 1st string and the 5th string open and right into that roll again. And then it's going to be the 2nd string open with the 5th string right after it in the same roll. So I'll do that one time. Those three measures there. Once you start practicing that, then we're going to have an ending phrase halfway through the first part. 5, 7 open on the 1st string, but you put the 5th string after it each time, that F note, so it sounds like this. And then open 1st, open 5th, so long notes at the end. That's halfway through the first part. So let me do the whole halfway through the first part of Jaqueline's Dream. 1, 2, here I go. And then I'm going to, it keeps going. This time, though, it starts with the 2nd string open. The same row comes in, but the 2nd string. And we have a climbing lick here, which is kind of fun. The 7th fret on the 3rd string and the 5th string. And you're going to scoot up to 10 and 12 slide on the 2nd and get a 12, 12, 1, 2. So it sounds like this. 7 on the 3rd, 5th string open. Then you got 10 to 12 slide on the 2nd string. Then 1st string 12. It could be a bar, or I'm using 2 fingers. But you could use a bar too. It's always about 5 or 6 ways you can finger these phrases. So then we're back to the first phrase we have with that 5th string leading, right? Which is, I think, yes. And a different ending lick is going to be 5 on the 1st with the open 5th. And the 1st string 7-5 pull off. And the 5th string for a long 2 beats. So listen to the second half. So it's going to be let me slow it down, do the whole first part of Jaqueline's Dream. Here we go. And I'm using my thumb and 2 fingers, kind of slow there. So 1, 2, the first part. The second half, 2nd string open, high lick, 1st phrase, repeat that. Beautiful. I think you'll find the first part's not too bad with a little bit of practice because you get that roll repeated a lot. Just which fingers and whether you want to slide or hammer. I'm doing a slide on that first phrase. It could be a hammer, which would look like this. I'm doing a... Of course, you hear a little gravy in there with the slide. You might want a cleaner of the hammer. The second part, let's explore, because we're getting into an interesting technique that bluegrass players maybe do more than old time. But I have seen a lot of old time players throw this in on a little more tricky phrases. This is just a descending phrase, and it goes from 14 to 13 with a pull off of some kind. And it's going to keep going down to 12 on the first. We're going to get the next two notes. So 12 on the first with a thumb hook, 12 on the fifth, which is going to be first and fifth string. So it'll be like this. Experiment with which fingers you use in your left hand. I'm trying different things all the time. Then it goes down to 7 on the first with the open fifth. So it's... Try that a few times. 14, 13, pull off. Anchor that 12th fret with the second finger I'm trying right now on the first, and thumb gets the fifth string 12th fret straight across from each other. 1, 2 string wise, 1, 5 string wise. Then down to 7th fret first with the fifth open. Okay, the next phrase is going to be open first with the 4th fret second. And it goes right to that 5th string and a cool lick where you have to fret 7, 5 on the first, right after each other, 7, 5, and then string wise 5, 1, 5. Let me just do that and you get to do, that's going to be done several times. So here it is, that much. A little slower. 7, 5, and you get to do that again, that little lick, 7, 5, and the ending phrase halfway through the second part, slide 5, 7, 5, and open 1 and 2. I'll do the whole halfway through the second part. Sounds like this. 1, 2, here I go. For the second part, it's a little different because it has several of the same note, and I'm barring 5 and 5 on the first 2 strings, 5th string, and you do a roll, sort of like a bluegrass player would do, 5, 2, 1, 5. And then you go 7 on the first with the open 5th, open 1 with the 4th fret second, and you have the 5th string, 7, 5, 4 on the second. Sounds like this. Let me do that little ending phrase. After that 4th fret on the second string, you're always hitting the 5th string open. That'll help. So the whole second part, and then what I'm going to do is play the whole first and second parts with the repeats, melody-wise, and then I think I'll do the chords, and you could try to do the melody. I'll play it nice and slow for practicing later. So we're doing Jaqueline's Dream from Erynn Marshall in the key of F, and we're in kind of a Cumberland Gap tuning, and we're exploring a little bit of finger picking today, which is pretty fun. If you hadn't done much finger picking or any finger picking, just doing the backup will be a good start, just trying to get a bass and some kind of pattern, and backing up the melody there. When I'm playing the melody, try to do the backup chords there. So here's the whole second part one time. Then I'm going to do both parts with repeats. So Jaqueline's Dream, second part one more time. 1, 2, here I go. So the whole first and second part with the repeats, melody-wise, and hopefully you'll find this not too strife-inducing. Just take a little snippet of it and practice that, and work on the backup first if that's if that's the way to go. Whatever works there, but it'll give you some ideas how to find licks and what works. And you might try doing that thumbing the fifth string somewhere for a note that's tricky to get. That's what I did, and it worked kind of good. And it's just a good technique to. You'll see people do that sometimes. Oh. I could probably do that. So here we go. Both parts of Jaqueline's Dream, and then I'll do the chords afterwards too. So you could switch in and out from chords to melody or vice versa. So 1, 2, the first part. Tag with that phrase. That's so pretty. Makes me tear up almost. Jaqueline's Dream. Erynn has a knack at making up some wonderful tunes, and this is one of them. And I hope you enjoy it. And I'm sure that Jaqueline Gavin was really tickled with this tune. So take good care, and don't rule out finger picking a little bit if you've never done it. And going in and out of melody and backup. Thanks.